Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the ESL India Premiership's daily stream. There's no host today because Vagish, Angela and everybody else, even Kunal, the production head, and even Gautam, basically looks over Mumbai for the Taiwan Excellence World Cup. And me, super excited. And cast it at the same time, so you guys will have to 30 seconds into it. We have Arpan, Jimit for today, and Jimit has replied with the passport. Considering history, pretty fast units to take care of the motor, but Arpan's hog there just did a huge 5 ton of damage. And oh wow, Jimit really. My audio. So then that was a horrible placement for the cross. So I don't know. This Jimit is just slipping. What is he like? You have the more than half of its HP to its huge said he's just let go of a log and an arrows and basically won it, I guess. So let me just change the score here because I'm running production, and there we go. Arpan 1, Jimit but 0. So while we wait for the next game to start, I just want to take a moment of your guys' time to mention our sponsors. We have our title sponsor Omen by HP, we have Zoe by BenQ, and we have HyperX, who makes some excellent keyboards, mechanical keyboards called the Alloy, as well as some really good gaming headsets. I used to use a Revolver until somebody stole it from me. I don't know why, man. Like it's a good headphones. It's surround sound really helped me spot people in PUBG, whether they were above me, below me, which side of the door they were on. Really spot on. But all good things do come to an end, though. Hopefully the Premiership never ends, but we'll see. I know that was a cheesy joke. Anyway, so I guess it's almost time for game 2. Let's see if I can start it. Arpan versus Jimit, game 2, and there we go. Okay, some good manners coming out from Arpan and Jimit over there. You know, they've been friends for a long time, showing their camaraderie right here. But let's see. Arpan's playing a Mega Knight minor balloon deck, while Jimit is playing Graveyard Poison deck with a P.E.K.K.A for defense push. Let's see. Jimit lets go of his minor Graveyard Poison right now, and Arpan replies with a Mega Knight, and dude, I think he just almost completely negated whatever damage Jimit was planning to do. And now we see the Mega Knight going over onto the other side, and it's going to be met by this huge towering P.E.K.K.A who's going to destroy it in 2 hits. That's it. Second hit, and there we go. The bats there are being a nuisance to the P.E.K.K.A. Him though being very, very tall and has a huge sword, he's unable to swat those little tiny bats aside. Gets distracted by the goblin gang and finally gets destroyed thanks to both the tower and the goblins hitting him. So far, players have exchanged a bit of fire. Jimit's own tower is at 1986 HP. Now it's going to go down even more because of the minor whacking away at it, bringing it out to 1794 HP. Now Jimit starts his own push with a cannon cart and a nice golem, which basically gets stopped right at the bridge itself. And this skill is good enough to completely stop the graveyard from doing any damage, and that tower is going down thanks to this huge jump. That Mega Knight just got denied by a set of arrows coming out from Jimit. Jimit has lost his tower, and after a minute left, let's see who gets the advantage in double edge. I'm gonna say Arpan again because he hasn't used his balloon till now. This is the first usage of his balloon, and wow, the Ice Golem has managed to tank a lot of damage for it, and it's going to get one more hit off onto the tower. No, almost. Bringing out to 1158 HP. So yeah, just over 30 seconds left. I think we can give this game to Arpan too, because I don't see any way Jimit coming back from this. He's already lost a tower, and his other tower is at 1158. Yeah, I don't think we're seeing it come back now. Yeah, I think even this tower is gonna go down soon. Or maybe not, but either way, it doesn't matter. 1 crown victory is still a victory. Oh wow, so I just got overzealous there and gave Arpan the match already, but thankfully I was right. My guess did not go wrong. So let's quickly jump into game 3 and what might be the final game for Arpan versus Jimit. Let's hope that's not true. And there we go. So again, looks like Arpan has stuck to his guns and is playing basically the same deck, and Jimit is also doing the same, but it's just the sides that are reversed. And feels like deja vu. Yeah, it does feel like deja vu. Another graveyard coming out, but there's no poison to support it. Was it just a bait to make Arpan use his cards so that Jimit can counter them? If so, I don't think that plan went very well for him. Well, on the other hand, is it going to hit the tower? It does hit the tower. Amazing. So that miner has been whacking away at it for a good 10 seconds. The balloon has come and hit one shot and brought the tower down to quite a low HP level. Solo cannon cart braving the dangers of the midfield. Look at that. Ice Golem, as long as the cannon cart had wheels, the Ice Golem was like, not my job, I'm just gonna go hit the building. And as soon as it got destroyed and got planted, it just instantly turned around and started hitting it. It's these little fun things that happen. So anyway, in all seriousness, let's talk about the game. So yeah, Jimit's position doesn't look good, man. Looks like this might be a 3-0 victory for Arpan right now. That balloon just destroyed the tower in one hit. Managed to get close enough to drop the bomb to injure the tower for Jimit. Another graveyard coming out. That graveyard is not really that effective without a poison, right? That Goblin Gang right there is basically completely destroyed whatever skeletons were coming out of the graveyard. And those arrows certainly did not help. And I think those arrows were just an unnecessary expenditure of Over here on the left, we see a Tekka going towards the tower, but then again getting distracted by the Ice Golem, getting slowed by the Ice Golem, getting hit by the EVs and the tower all at the same time, and eventually just went down. So I can't take this anymore, and it just died right there. So I'm sure that balloon is not going to reach the tower, but is it going to damage it? Yes, it does. A decently sized push on the left being lost by Jimit, but then the Mega Knight just went nope and stopped the push in its tracks. He did manage to damage the tower down to 1402 HP, but 15 seconds left. I don't think Jimit is taking this one. So unfortunately for us today, ladies and gentlemen, today's first Clash Royale match of the ESL India Premiership has ended in a 3-0 sweep. What else do I tell you guys? It's a 3-0 sweep. Congratulations, Arpan. So fortunately, we have one more match for today, which is, let's see this. Which is what? We have Mrin versus, if I can just find the games. There we go. We have Mrin versus Sushil Abhi. Okay. Let me just take a short break while I make some changes for you guys. And I'll be right back. Well, okay, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mrin versus Sushil ready, and I'm gonna start the first match right about now. There we go. Okay, so Mrin versus Sushil Abhi. Sushil, the guy who basically blew up the Challenger League before he entered the Masters League, and he had a pretty good run at the LAN finale, while Mrin actually made it to the final, faced off against Arpan and lost to Arpan. It was a pretty spectacular match, but still, I put my support behind Mrin and he's disappointed me, man. Okay, so Mrin versus Abhi. Mrin opens up with a cannon cart. I don't know why, but the cannon cart has been more and more common in the past few games of the ESL Premiership. So, I guess we're going to see a lot more of it pretty soon. So this ice golem is going to blow up and destroy some of the bats, as well as slow down Mrin's own ice golem. A poison cannon cart deck versus a crossbow deck with an elixir character coming out from Abhi. I must confess, I have not seen such a combo of cards like these, so I really have no idea who has the type advantage, but since I like the Inferno Dragon, I'm gonna give this to him. And the fact that the elixir characters haven't been quite successful in the recent past of the Premiership games, and because Mrin has that poison to basically destroy the elixir character. Inferno Dragon chooses to target the Tesla coil, bringing it down to a near death, making it basically ineffective because Mrin just has to wait a couple of seconds for it to die on its own. Abhi, however, hasn't yet let go of his crossbow yet. Maybe he's trying to wait until the best precise moment, trying to cheat Mrin into thinking that this is a Three Musketeer deck because of the elixir collector. Waiting for Mrin to sort of do whatever he's supposed to do. Maybe use the poison on this, and I think we're going to see the first crossbow come out now. 30 seconds left in the game. This is when we're going to see the crossbow. Aren't we? No, not even now? Abhi, come on, man, what are you doing? Ah, there we go. First crossbow coming out from Abhi. Instantly targets the cannon cart. Slowly bringing its HP down. Now it's going to target the again. Does manage to destroy it. Now finally targets the tower, but it gets destroyed by the Inferno. It was already at quite low HP and it didn't really do any favors with it. And the Inferno Dragon right there. Those few 4 or 5 seconds were all it needed to bring the tower's HP down to 1244. Suddenly we find ourselves in overtime, just inching closer to each other's defeat. Mrin has been following the same progression of cards since the beginning, and it's worked out quite well. So it's not broken by fix it, right? And that log right there, what a whiff! We completely whiffed on that log, and we see the cannon cart slowly coming in, targeting the tower, bringing it down to 534 HP, and the other one is at 617. Couple of more poisons and Mrin's got this game in the bag. It's 2 minutes left in overtime. That's plenty of time for Mrin to rotate into poisons and start dishing out the defeats to Sushil. Oof. So the cannon cart cannot reach the crossbow, but the crossbow can hit the cannon. But the crossbow is definitely not doing any damage to the tower because there's so many units distracted. Again, 425 HP and 534 HP. Abhi's towers are teetering really close to destruction, and with destruction comes a loss for this round. So he has to be really careful. I don't know, like a minute and a half left. 2 poisons, but 2 poisons is all it takes. There we go, the first poison coming out, and I guess that's a weekend Corliss. The miners going to back it into oblivion. Congratulations. Mrin takes the first round. There we go. And let's see if Abhi's luck changes in the following rounds. You know, man, I just cannot take another 3-0 sweep today. Please let this be a full 5-match series. I'm gonna be a really happy person if that happens. And having said that, let's jump right into the second game. There we go. Abhi's okay, so now I can actually say that Abhi's started playing the Ram 3 Musketeer deck with the Elixir Collector, the one deck that makes absolutely amazing use of the Elixir Collector. Like, not only does it serve as a boost, it also is a bullet magnet, because without the Elixir Collector, your 3 Musketeers are going to get rocketed, they're going to get fireballed, they're going to get lightning. Although we don't see the lightning card in much use nowadays anymore, but still, it's really good. Once you enter the W exit time, you can just use it as a damage soaker, right? And then have your 3 Musketeers fresh. In the fall and the summer seasons of the Premiership, we've seen 3 Musketeer decks with a heal, and they did some amazing damage. Until, of course, the other cards in the deck that they were using got a little not really much you can do about it. If a card is being used too much, you need to have some variety in the game, right? You need to have a good meta game. That's what Supercell did. They nerfed the hell out of good cards, just to make sure all the other cards see some play. But players have replied with some really interesting decks, especially the Masters players. Now they're using Sparkles, they're using Arpan, they're using Inferno Dragons, they're using Cannon cards, they're using Mega Knights. The one card that I do see not being used much anymore is a Night Witch. Like, as soon as it got released, people couldn't wait to get their hands on it. It was so OP. It was such a good tower destroyer. It was such a good tank destroyer. But now, not so much anymore. So getting back to the game, Mrin's star is at 1454 HP. Abhi is at 1565. And let's see what's gonna happen. Distracting a minion more with a set of minions of their own. Oh wow, this is going to be troublesome for Abhi right here. There's a minion, there's a ram that made contact with the tower, and that tower is going down. Mrin's tower is gone, 30 seconds left. All Abhi has to do is to defend, and let me tell you people, the 3 Musketeers are really good at defending basically anything you throw at them. Like, each Musketeer does such huge damage on single targets, and there's 3 of them, and they shoot from such a huge range that you just can't push against defensive teams. That's it. I guess we can call this one. Congratulations to Sushil for coming back with an equalizer. So we're just gonna take a small break before we start the next game. So why don't you guys just have some fun listening to some good tunes. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we're back and we're gonna head right into game 3 of Mrin Lakar versus Sushil Abhi, and I don't know his last name. And there we go. So Abhi's opted to shift to a Hog deck, a fast Hog cycle deck with an Inferno Dragon and Fireball for defense, it looks like. While Mrin has Night Witch in his deck. Oh, okay, it's a Golem deck. Nice to see them coming back in style. Arpan used a Golem deck in the finale. Who else? Jimit used a Golem deck in the finale. Even Mrin himself used a Golem deck in the finale. It was pretty successful for him, except when it went up against Arpan's Three Musketeer deck with the P.E.K.K.A. The P.E.K.K.A. is so good against Golem. Okay, so Mrin right off the bat starts out with the Golem drop, and Sushil replies with a Sparky, who might destroy. Yes, he does. He destroys the Night Witch as well. But the Golem is going to get a few hits onto the tower. Does quite a bit of damage. Brings it down to 2/3 of its HP. But the P.E.K.K.A. does manage to clear it out before it really gives him trouble. Oh wow, a Hog being supported from behind the P.E.K.K.A. This is going to hurt. This is going to hurt hard. Finally, Zap coming out from him, stopping the Sparky from obliterating the Lumberjack. And then someone looks ready to put down another Executor, and he does. And minute 30 seconds left. I think we're going to see another huge Golem push come out pretty soon. I'm not sure if I agree with the timing of this Hog Rider though, but he has to cycle at some time, I guess. Oh wow! So I think the tower is going down. Oh yeah, the tower is definitely going down. Surprising turn of events. There's 10 seconds left for double elixir, and Mrin's star is just one poof. I guess it's time for Abhi to put down his second Sparky. There we go. Luckily for Abhi, he has a Inferno Dragon too, which is also even better at defending from Golem. Are we going to see a Zap? Yes, we will. I don't understand why he's zapping. That Golem was never going to reach the tower. Maybe it's babies, but 2 Sparkies on the board means wow, this is going to hurt. Oh wow, so the first Sparky dies before it's able to complete its charge up. And Mrin persists and helps his little babies, his Golem babies, destroy the tower. Mrin says, screw that side, I'm shifting sides. Looks like Sushil has predicted this move and has got both an Inferno Dragon as well as a Sparky to defend from this Golem. Defend he will, but not before the Golem gets off. As well as the explosive damage onto the tower, bringing it down to 16. Sorry. With the poison, 1564. Used to be 1654, but sure. Again, 2 Sparkies coming out from Abhi at the same time. It's going to be really bad for him. Both of them hit the tower. Zap coming out from him has stopped the Sparkies from charging. They just killed each other, man. There's so much carnage over there on the left. So both the players' stars are at similar levels of HP. Whoever destroys it first wins, as this is overtime. Again, those fireballs are really starting to hurt. Now that both players are getting double elixir, we can actually start throwing out fireballs at a faster and faster space, and it looks like he's using that tactic to chip off damage from Mrin's star. And feels like it's working. It does feel like it's working, but if I know Mrin, and I'm sure all of us know Mrin pretty well, he's gonna start off with some crazy stuff. 520 HP left. Golem backing away at Abhi's tower. Mrin's Night Witch is going to give him the game, is it? It is. Comes down to the wire. Minute 28 seconds into overtime. Whew. Mrin has managed to secure the second game in this series, bringing the score 2-1 in favor of Mrin in the matchup of Mrin versus Sushil. That was a pretty close game. That was very close. Very close. I'm just gonna say it again. It was very close. So before we jump into game number 4, right? I just wanna again mention our sponsors. We have Omen by HP, Zoe by BenQ, and HyperX, who make some really amazing gaming hardware. Everything like from laptops to desktops to screens to monitors, like 244 hertz monitors, to keyboards to mice to headsets. And if I do say so myself, they look pretty good, especially the new hard laptop. The new Omen laptops, the more boxy looking ones. I really like the design on them. But enough about that. Let's get to the action. Let's get to why we are here. Let's get to why I'm sitting in this office all alone, talking to who I hope people are talking in chat, telling me how horrible my casting is. You know why it's horrible? Because I'm depressed. There's nobody else in the office. I mean, in production. I'm literally sitting here all by myself for you guys, for my Clash Royale Masters players, and because I like the game. Go esports. So Mrin's little princess right there just got completely destroyed by the rocket, and Sushil has started playing with his own princess. You know, Mrin has let go of bats, let go of the minion horde, and when I see so many units coming at me, I sort of just panic and drop whatever units I have in my hand. But not the case for Sushil. He actually managed to defend his side of the map in a pretty solid way. He's only lost what, 600 HP on the tower. Mrin's own tower is also almost at the same level. Minute 30 seconds into the game, not much has happened except little girls being murdered by big fireworks. So Abhi has an Inferno tower in his deck, which is, in my opinion, a dead card. A dead card as in he's not going to find use for it in this game at all, because there's no single large unit coming out from Mrin that needs an Inferno tower or something to kill it. It's almost always a better idea to put down one of your own units and trade elixir, try to trade better. Basically, use your elixir to destroy more of your opponent's elixir, but time will tell. Mrin ready with his arrows, not letting the goblin barrel get even one hit off onto his tower. Good strat. When neither player is taking any crap from each other in terms of barrels, Mrin just instantly arrows it. Abhi has his log. Oh, okay, so Mrin used his arrows in an offensive fashion this time. Oof. Princess being murdered by princess. So this game is, I would say this gaming is going nowhere because we haven't seen any big pushes, but look at the tower on the left for Sushil. Well placed miner right there, destroys the princess, but then gets destroyed by himself by the knight and the towers in the process. Another well placed log to get rid of the goblin player. Now that he doesn't have a log, princess is going to come out pretty much unchallenged. He's going to have to use a rocket to take care of another barrel, another log, and another princess being destroyed. Oh, not being destroyed. I thought that should almost certainly kill her, but timely fiery arrows have destroyed them, and the distraction from the ice spirit has helped her quite a bit, I must say. So I think that princess on Mrin's side has been alive for a whole minute. So her kill count must be super high. Her kill death ratio must be what, 50 to 1? I mean 50 to 0. She hasn't died yet, and now we see the second princess coming out again. This is the third time in the game that we've seen two princesses from the same guy on the board at the same time. Finally they get destroyed. Finally, but not before Sushil's tower suffers some horrible health loss. It's at 770, in some real danger of being destroyed. Maybe Mrin will finally be able to outcycle Abhi's log and use his barrel in a much more effective fashion. I guess we'll have to wait and see. So now it's Abhi's turn to put out two princesses on the board at the same time. Unfortunately for him, they're standing right beside each other, and that minion horde gets them both. but does get destroyed itself in the process. Again, are we going to see an uncontested princess firing arrows for a long time, or are we going to see some arrows of Mrin's own coming out? Two princesses on the board again, only for a short while though. Right hand destroyed. Mrin chooses to sacrifice his binder to kill the princess. Oh, that log just stops short of killing the princess. That's going to be very troublesome for another princess coming out from Mrin. He's gonna let this one die, but he has one more in the making. Being tagged by the knight out front. Arrow, see, this is what I like about Mrin, right? It's very methodical. He doesn't make mistakes. He's holding those arrows, waiting for the barrel, timing the arrows just right so that the goblins die without doing damage onto the star. 30 seconds left. Okay, so this might actually end in a defense, ladies and gentlemen. It's sorry, a draw. Oh, you get what you ask for, I guess. So 2-1 in favor of both players. Good timing on the log. Managed to destroy the goblins without taking damage from the tower. 10 seconds left. I think we can call a draw on this. Okay, so this is pretty exciting. Oof. So this is a draw. You know what that means? I think we might be seeing game 6 if all goes well. If Sushil wins the next one, Mrin will have to play. He will equalize it 2-2, and since we're playing a best of 5, the next game wins. Let's see if it works out. So the score is right now is 2-1, but the number of games that were played is 4 because the last one ended in a draw. Okay, so Abhi shifted to a 3 Musketeer deck, and unfortunately for him, his Elixir collector is not in the top 4 in his open cards. So we'll have to see how he's going to get around this one. He's been bleeding Elixir for about almost 30 seconds. Finally, let's go to Minor to kill the princess. Well placed too, but Minor himself dies in the process. It's a sacrifice, I guess. So I think we're gonna see the Elixir character down or Zap first. Opts to use the minion horde to defend. Minion horde gets shot down by arrows coming out from Mrin. Well placed. Managed to hit the tower also for a little bit of damage, but damage is damage nonetheless. We've seen minor poison decks do tiny bits of damage over time, and that's how people win. And that's what's happening now. Okay, so Mrin's first mistake of the day, a misplaced Minor, gets pushed away by the Goblin Gang and is not able to hit the Elixir character. Good play coming out from Abhi right there. So now, 30 seconds left. That Elixir character is going to last a long time. So we might just see some huge pushes coming out from him. I think we're gonna see the 3 Musketeers come out pretty soon. Zap decreasing the HP of those minions so that the tower can kill them in one shot. Or are we going to see a second Elixir character being put down? That is going to change the game, ladies and gentlemen. No. I exaggerate. Mrin seizes this opportunity to launch a recently sized push down there on the right. But how effective is it going to be? Is the question. Not really, is the answer. So I guess Abhi is going to drop down his 3 Musketeers now, pretty soon. There we go. Maybe all on the same side as well. No, he splits them 1 to 2, favoring the right. I guess because his star's HP is at 1860. Is he going to support a ram with them as well? Yes, he does. Abhi spots the barrel coming and presses down his Goblin Gang to defend. Good decision. And over there on the left, you see the ramp making contact and bringing the car down to 1039 HP. She might actually equalize this. It is a game 6. Hits from the Barbarian and the car will go down, but luckily for him, he has this Musketeer as well to provide some insane artillery support. And congratulations, Sushil, you just equalized, came back from a 2-1 disadvantage. So the score went like this, right? Mrin won first, Sushil equalized, Mrin won second, Sushil and Mrin managed to bring the game to a draw, and then Sushil wins the next one, equalizing it with 2 each. And finally we might be getting to what might be the last game for today. It's not often that we see draws in Clash Royale esports tournaments because it's so hard, man, right? You have 3 minutes of normal gameplay in which you most likely will win, and then in case you are tied with towers, you get 3 more minutes of overtime and the first tower down wins. It almost always ends in a victory. Draws like these are super rare, like super rare. But when it does happen, it happens. And speaking of draws, I'm just reminded of the exhausting but really fun experience we had producing the playoffs for the ESL India Premiership's fall finale. 6 out of 8 CSGO games ended up in overtime, and one of them actually went into overtime 2-3 or something. That was fun. It was exhausting, but it was fun. So again, let's talk about the game that we are supposed to talk about here right now, which is Clash Royale, and just started the game. Okay, so Mrin is playing a Hog Cycle deck while Ice Spirit goes and faces an Ice Golem. That's always fun to watch. So I don't know why Sushil Abhi insists on using this Inferno tower, but that was a good decision this time. I was able to distract both the Ice Golem as well as the Hog. Neither the Knight nor the Battle of Goblins are going to do any damage to the tower. Yeah, the Inferno Tower had got a sliver of health remaining, and then that small sliver managed to nullify the threat from well placed freeze right there. How he's not going to get even one hit off onto the tower. Impressive. Rather misplaced golems here, goblins right there from the battle coming out from here. So, since the last game, Mrin has started making a couple of mistakes. Let's hope those are not what caused him to lose this matchup. It's always fun when you see multiple instances of the same card on the board. Princess is 6 musketeers, 2 golems, 2, 3, 4 cutters. There were a couple of games we saw 3 cutters from the same guy, the same team, at the same time. It's always fun when that happens. We've gone into the last minute, which is time for double exit. And honestly, I have no idea who has the advantage now. Whose deck is faster, rotates faster. So Abhi hasn't revealed that he has a rocket yet. What is he playing there? What is his strategy? You know, I wish I had a pro right here with me, like Tahir or somebody, to sort of humor him on why these players are playing these cards in this way. Good defense from Abhi right here, even though the Mega Knight has managed to do quite a bit of damage. Good job distracting the Hog with the 5 seconds. This match ends up go as well. It's going to make my day. Excuse me. It's going to make my day. But most likely not. Objects usually don't end up in a draw because they just go straight from the Lightning's hammer against a huge stone wall that will destroy. It's very, very funny in theory. Oh wow, look at that. Abhi's number of goblins and a rocket going unanswered by Mrin has screwed up. Mrin has screwed up, ladies and gentlemen. Giving Sushil the victory right there. Congratulations, Sushil. So having said that, guys, don't go anywhere. We have, although we don't have any CSGO today, we do have Dota 2 coming up. So, which is going to be Team XRG versus Nirvana. So please do stay tuned. And the next time you hear a person's voice, it's going to be from AFK Gaming, casting some live action Dota 2 for you. So stay tuned.
Turn around 3 times. Start shooting.
I've been waiting for so long. Now those feelings are so gone. I don't care what else goes on. We will take you away in the night when you see me, and I'm feeling free. Leave me to play.
We bring the heat, we bring the fire, we bring the dirt, we'll take you higher. We bring the heat, we bring the fire, we bring the dirt, we'll take you higher. We bring the heat, we bring the fire, we bring the dirt, we'll take you higher. We feel the place with our desire, face split and bass driven on fire.
Ladies and gentlemen, MVP for Dota 2, Owa from Signify.
Turn around 3 times. Start shooting.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and even those of you looking forward to playing Artifact, welcome to the ESL India Premiership. My name is Vivek, with me is Floki, and today we got XRG Gaming on the Dire facing off versus Team Nirvana on the Radiant.
Oh
Floki,
yeah,
Nirvana, I mean, they played some really good Dota yesterday,
yeah.
but yeah,
I,
tough luck.
tough luck. I love casting the game. Like they had a clear idea of what they wanted to do. They knew how to do it, and they did it for a while. But unfortunately, they made one or two crucial mistakes that ended up costing them the game. And I mean, that's forgivable. Like that's how you improve as a team. So it's going to be interesting to see if they learn from that and if they're going to be playing more disciplined today and they're going to be rigorously just following what their draft does. But let's see, Night Stalker banned out by Nirvana and XRG banned out the next Assassin. Both pretty very strong position 4 heroes and roamers, which we've been seeing a lot in this patch. Night Stalker, especially during the first night time, as soon as he hits level 3, somebody in some lane is going to be dying.
Mm-hmm.
Nyx Assassin 2, he has some very good potential. He can either go for the Impale at level 1, try to set up a First Blood, or he can go for the Mana Burn and just ruin the life of the enemy mid-hero. And a Coatl and a Veromancer band followed up. Nothing too fancy. And a Lich is going to be picked up by Nirvana. So that's going to be the position 5.
Mm-hmm. XRG, they've been known to really prefer the Viper whenever they can get their hands on it, or else they like to run the Tinker in the mid lane. That's pretty much the static mid laners. I mean, these are pretty much the static mid laners that they're stuck with for the earlier phase, the fall phase. But this time around, they're going to open instead with the Earthshaker. I'm curious to see if they're just going to pick up the Ancient Apparition because that's good team fight, and it's also going to dissuade Nirvana from picking up something like a Necrophos. Next pick for XRG. They could pick up their 5 position here, assuming that this is a 4 position ES and he's not going to the 3 position. I am also hearing a lot of background noise. It's yeah, Hiraka.
I'll check my
hold
mic.
on, I know what's going on. Dear observer, Super hasn't muted his mic, and my voice is going through.
Ah, boy.
Manoj. Okay, I do not have admin rights on this channel. I cannot kick him.
We can lower the user volume.
Okay, I've lowered his user volume.
And the echo is gone.
Okay. Tech support from Hiraka here. We Indians are known for working in call centers, but there isn't an ancient apparition pick. It's instead going to be a clockwork, and yeah, Nirvana, they're going to pick up the Necrophos.
So interesting choice in the clockwork here. They pick up potentially 2 melee supports right off the bat. So I don't think XRG is going to make the mistake of picking 2 melee supports because against a Lich and a Necrophos, you're just going to get guided to oblivion. So I think this is a offlane Earthshaker and a position 4 roaming clockwork, if I'm correct.
Yeah, they're flexible, but the problem is they could have picked up the clockwork later and they could have instead picked up the ancient apparition.
Yeah.
Now, because the next set of bans are in place, Nirvana is just going to take out the AA. The Necrophos is going to go unchecked until somebody builds something like a diffusal blade to deal with them. Yeah, you mentioned that these are 2 melee supports. But yeah, like one of them is obviously going to the offlane.
Offlane, yeah, I agree. And I don't think it's going to be the clockwork. We've just been seeing clockwork being played a lot in the position 4 in the Masters League. So I think that's where the clockwork is going to go. And the Earthshaker is definitely offlane. So I think Nirvana understand and realize that. So now they have a lot of fun. And they ban the Ancient Apparition as well. So looks like the Necrophos is going to have a relatively easier time this game. At least when it comes to magic damage, he doesn't have a lot to worry about. But they still have 3 picks to go and they could make his life a living hell. But they banned the Pugna as well, so magic damage is now out of the pool. It's only going to be Diffusal Blade and Diffusal Blade carriers and heroes who can purge off Coast Shroud, which Oracle is quite good at. So it's going to be interesting to see if XRG decided to pick that up here. And they banned the Viper.
Yeah, XRG Gaming, they're just banning out the Viper. The patch has pretty much been about all the green heroes. You spoke of magic damage. The Ghost Shroud, it does amplify magic damage by around 25%. And the Zeus is going to try and capitalize on that and try and burst down the Necrophos as soon as possible.
I am not sure how I feel about that Zeus pick. I think that it's too early in the draft to pick a Zeus. Like Zeus is generally picked 4th or 5th, like when you've already drafted both of your supports and like you don't really have an answer for the Zeus farming away. I mean, it's either like you already have an answer for the Zeus or you don't, you pick it up later. And so right now this Zeus is in a weird spot where he might just get completely countered and shut down because XRG picked it up so early. And we can see Nirvana thinking about this. So it's going to be interesting to see what the Necrophos builds here. He could go for a hood first. Necrophos is a hero that is very flexible with his items. He can go for lots of early options. There's the Force Staff, there's the Wheel of Discord, there's Rod of Atos, and there is also the Hood of Defiance, which becomes a pipe later. And then he picks up a Radiant, so his team fight potential is just amplified by that. So Nirvana, they're taking a lot of time with this pick here. What do you think Nirvana are really looking for right now, Vivek?
Nirvana are probably going to pick up their 4 position, yeah. The good ones have been taken by XRG.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there have been a couple of standard 4 positions that people fall upon. A bunch of them have been banned out. So, I'm thinking we might see something like the Sand King, maybe the Slada. Rubik is not a conventional 4 position, but
He
it's
can
some form
do.
of control versus the Clockwork and the Cogs. And this isn't a bad game for a Rubik either.
Yeah. You know what I think is a good counter to a Necrophos mid? Alina.
Oh, you read that Reddit thread.
Oh yeah, I was reading Reddit all day. Like that's all I do. But yeah, like it was a pretty legit post. I mean, you just keep right-clicking the Necrophos until he uses Ghost Shout, and when he uses Ghost Shout, you ulti him and he dies. Like, what can you really do against Alina? And as you mentioned, Vivek, Sladar is going to be picked up by Nirvana here, so that is their position 4.
Yeah.
Good job. Looks like your third eye is seeing a lot of things today. You're sensing all the picks and bans very well.
I have just cast a lot of Indian Dota. And I mean, if this were say an international game, the Earth Spirit might have been picked, but Indian teams do not even pick or ban the Earth Spirit at all, which is rather disappointing. I know one player in India who plays the Earth Spirit really well, and yeah, we're going to see him tomorrow in the Taiwan Excellence Cup. So I hope he does show us some of his signature Earth Spirit. Next pick for XRG, they are looking for position 5 hero. I actually wouldn't mind the Oracle. The False Promise is great versus the Necrophos. Pretty much ensures that the Reaper sight amounts to nothing.
Also, you can purge off the Sladar minus armor alt. I don't know what it's called. Corrosive Haze.
You can purge off Corrosive Haze. You can purge off the Ice Armor.
Yeah, you have 2 spells to purge off the Corrosive Haze. You have the Q and the Ultimate. So it's like but it's also going to be alert on how well the position 5 player plays. If he's out of position, he's going to get gone upon right away, and then the fight is a whole big mess because none of the heroes on the side of XRG have a lot of armor and a Life Stealer picked up here. Okay. Interesting pickup here. Looks like they want to pair it up with the Earthshaker so they can instantly initiate onto any one of their choice, preferably the Necrophos, and burst him down before he can even do some real damage.
I don't know.
Mute my mic.
Okay. I don't know how I feel about this Lifestealer pickup because you want somebody who naturally builds a Diffusal Blade versus the Necrophos. Lifestealer is not one of those. While Nirvana, they respond with the TA. So you got the minus armor coming out from the Corrosive Haze. Then you also got the Mel that works in. A good amount of physical damage coming out from Nirvana. And maybe the TA with the Dragonlance can also siege a little bit.
Yeah, I think they don't really need sieging potential as long as they can find just one hero on the side of XRG. They can just convert that into a push, because then if XRG try to initiate, they have the Sladar, they have the Necrophos to counter initiate. Whoever initiates onto the stage, they'll just end up dying. So I think the TA pick is amazing here, quite frankly, against the Lifestealer. Just a lot, as you mentioned, a lot of minus armor, and she can capitalize on the Corrosive Haze with the Desolator. And this Lifestealer is going to be having a lot of problems early on if this Templar Assassin gets a good start. But with that said, XRG do have a Clockwork, so it's going to be interesting to see where this Clockwork chooses to go. If he chooses to make sure that the Zeus has a good time mid, or if he decides to roam and look for kills and prevent Sladar from ganking.
It's also a matchup that the TA wins. Zeus versus TA. The TA should be fine. Next set of bans, we're seeing the Jakiro getting banned out from Nirvana, while XRG it seems as if they've been keeping eyes on Nirvana. They did pick up the Nature's Prophet yesterday in the offlane versus Akatsuki. They had reasonable success with it, so they're just not going to take the chances and ban that out. Last pick for Nirvana. It's an offlaner here for Kalnayak. What?
I'm not quite sure what they pick up here.
I mean,
Let
you
me
got
think.
a whole lot of options.
Oh, you can pick up the puck here. The puck is actually really good.
You
Uh,
could do puck actually, not too bad.
it gives them the
puck.
team fight control they lack somewhat. I mean, they're very reliant on Sadastan if they decide to go for something like Nature's Prophet then. I mean, they could, like, yeah, the draft is entirely different, but if you're looking to team fight, you won't have the initiation you want. And they are going to pick up the Faceless Void. Wow. Okay, so a bit more physical damage to couple up with the Corrosive Haze. And it's also going to make sure that the TA is able to get a lot of free hits onto the Lifestealer or the Zeus whoever is caught on the Chrono.
I hope to see a Dazzle or an Oracle here.
Oh yeah, definitely me too. Dazzle, that's a very interesting choice. I didn't think about that. Yeah, Dazzle could also be very potentially strong here. The Oracle as well. Like I think those are the two supports they're really looking for, but I'm not quite sure if they run that. And they pick up the Puck. Okay, so is this an offlane Puck or an offlane Zeus? Because definitely the Earthshaker and Clockwork are supports, and they are two melee supports, which I am a little skeptical about.
So the
I
problem
mean,
with XRG's lineup is
all the heroes are very greedy. They need some
very
farm to
greedy.
come on.
They need farm, they need levels. The Urchik and the Puck without their blink aren't going to be too good. If you want to prioritize his Puck, if you want to prioritize Puck's blink, then you want to send her to the mid lane. Puck versus TA is also a matchup that the Puck doesn't win. And Zeus in the offlane is going to get shat upon by the Lich and the Necrophos. I really don't know what's going on with XRG Gaming. So Gondi is the mid laner. That means that Gondi's going to the mid lane with the Puck.
Actually,
as far as I've seen XRG play, they've given the mid lane over to Gondi. Now there are a bunch of standards. This is a new XRG, so I don't know if they're role swaps. I don't know what's going on.
So I think this is a support Zeus and a mid Puck with the offlane Earthshaker. I mean, I'm not quite sure what these players or these roles are either, but I think that's what makes the most sense to me right now. That the Zeus goes kind of Yabzor style position 4 where he just roams around, gets a couple of levels, and once he gets those 3 or 4 levels in Thunderbolt, he can just start killing people on the side of Nirvana. And Nirvana do have some squishy heroes.
But support Zeus, where is he going to get that EXP from? That's the real question here.
I mean, if you're Yabza, you just roam around, kill people, collect bounty runes, and do all those kind of shenanigans. But
easier said than done.
Much easier said than done.
Much easier to execute in a pub versus uncoordinated idiots than in a real game. Let's see though if Acme manages to get that, get those levels, get that Thunderbolt up and going, and if he has levels, he can indeed help burst down the Necrophos.
Wait a second. Nobody on the side of XRG has bought any starting items, so they're going to be wasting some time.
Welcome to Indian Dota, Hiraka. I mean, players have a bind a script. As soon as you load into the game auto pauses. We don't know why. They don't know why. But everybody pauses and waits. It's just absolutely normal.
That is slightly concerning and weird. What are they trying to do with the pause?
I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to quickly run through the lineups here. I'm going to take Nirvana and then hand over XRG to you. Kalnayak will be playing the Faceless Void. You got Kalnayak on the Faceless Void, no fancy sets for him. Saurabh going to be playing the Temple Assassin. Necrophos in the hands of Rival. Lich going to be played by Opa, and that leaves us with VP playing the Slada.
And on the Dire side, we have Shondi playing the Puck in the mid lane, Shondi's twin brother Gondi playing the Lifestealer, Dream playing the Earthshaker, and ACM3, I think it's pronounced Acme, he decided to do something fancy with his name, is going to be playing the Zeus, and the Clockwork is in the hands of the Pro Kid. So, I'm quite eager to see what is going to happen in this game, because this game is going to either be a complete clown fiesta or a complete stomp, and I can't wait to see which one it is. I mean, I'm not by any means undermining the skill of these players. I'm saying it's a clown fiesta because the drafts on both sides. I mean, Nirvana's draft looks like a lot better than
I think
XRG's.
Nirvana's draft is perfectly good. XRG, they have a much harder to execute draft. The Zeus needs to get levels. The Earthshaker, if he is indeed going to the offlane, needs to get a blink. The Lifestealer needs an armlet, and somewhere down the line, ideally a diffusal blade also. XRG's draft definitely harder to execute.
Well, the Lifestealer can pick up the Diffusal Blade as a second or a third item after the Armlet, but my main concern with the Lifestealer is that the Lifestealer likes to go Desolator and Armlet, so he can finish off those heroes. But I guess that won't be that much of a problem considering you have a Zeus, a Puck, and an Earthshaker. I mean, Earthshaker, maybe if he's going to the offlane, then that's pretty easy to do, to finish off all those heroes with those nukes and the Enchant Totem smacking you in the face. But apart from that, they don't have a lot to fill that gap. So it's going to be interesting to see what Gandhi decides to go for on the Lifestealer. Right now he is going to buy the Slippers of Agility and the eventual Poor Man's Shield from the side shop. Smoke.
So I think it's a support clockwork. I mean, a 5-position clockwork, a 4-position Earthshaker, and maybe an offlane Zeus.
Yep, this is most definitely an offlane Zeus. I mean, did Zeus buy the ward or was it the Earthshaker? I'm a little...
I didn't catch that, but he's going to plant the offlane ward. So I presume he's going to be sitting in the offlane.
Yeah, I think so too. This Earthshaker, I mean, I don't think you go boots first as an offlane Earthshaker. Like, it's much... Like, you can still sit in a lane against, like, even though, yeah, the Necrophos and the Lich deals a lot of damage, you can still sit in a lane with, like, a healing Salve Stout, Shield Tangos, Mango, and stuff.
If he was going offlane, he would definitely buy more consumables. Consumables.
But he has not done that, so... it's going to be interesting to see how this offlane Zeus ends up working out. We're going to... Like, if the Lich is going to be staying mid, as always, this might be a good matchup for the Zeus against Necrophos, and this is something that might completely catch Nirvana off guard.
I don't think so. I mean, all Rival has to do is buy a stick early on. He's already queued it up. There's no way he goes down to the Zeus. There's no way the Zeus trades hits versus him. And I think Dream, I mean, the plan for Dream is to just get as much EXP as possible. And if you're lucky, get a Veil or Arcane Boots as soon as possible.
Yeah, and I think that's where he takes it away from, right? So, if he's gonna be solo against the Necrophos, he should be able to get a decent amount of last hits. Nothing too crazy or anything, but
top lane,
to...
VP, the Drafter and the Captain of Nirvana caught on the wrong side of a Fisher, slowed down with the open wounds. The Battery Assault is there as well, and VP is going to simply give away first blood. He's got a crush, connects onto 3, he's buying himself some time. He did manage to eat a tango, he's going to survive as well.
There's another Fisher coming up though. Let's see if they're going to chase. Looks like they are not. So, a first blood not fed for the side of Nirvana, and they've got that going for themselves.
He's probably going to make a base trip. So, that's a good couple of minutes for Dream to... I hope he's taking notice of this. He can, at the very least, attempt to bring down the range creep and get as much EXP as possible.
But he's just playing so far behind. He seems to be afraid of Necrophos for some reason. The Necrophos decided to go Death Pulse first and not Heartstopper Zora. So he doesn't really have the trading right-click advantage in this scenario as one would expect. I guess
he knows that the Lich is missing and he's a bit worried as to where the Lich is. He does have that ward on the side. So he should be able to spot out rotations, if any, coming through from the Lich.
Oh, this is such a bad ward. It actually doesn't spot out anything at all. It doesn't spot out the area on top of the camp over here. It doesn't spot out the area over here either. So it just covers this little path over here. And that is not what you think it is. Never mind.
I'm toggling Dire Vision, and that ward, along with his sketching, both really questionable.
Yeah, I think he was looking to place it slightly over here. If he places it over here, he would have vision here, and he would have some decent vision in this direction as well.
You're right.
But
I mean, those trees block a little bit of the vision.
yeah, he looks like he misplaced it. He can still correct it if he wants with the tango though, but I'm not sure if he wants to do that. That might reveal the fact he has a ward. And he is stacking the center camp and pulling the creeps towards him. Interesting.
I mean, this is good, right? This means that the Radiant creeps are going to push in. They're 2 range creeps. Dream is going to get EXP, and that's ideally what
Yeah,
he's
but-
hoping for in the offlane.
Yeah, but Rival is now gonna get 2 times the XP he would have rather gotten just by farming those. But never mind, he's gonna miss most of the last hits. He's just gonna be able to get 1 dire range creep. But this is
Yeah.
something that he can take in the future though. Good
The
move for
stack?
Zeus. Yeah, the stack. He can take it with the Death Pulse and if he does a pull, basically.
Yeah,
But he needs to make sure he doesn't stack it one more time though, because then it becomes really hard to take it, especially if you end up with a Hellbear or another Centaur camp. Those things are gonna be hard to take down with the Death Pulse.
I mean, yeah, that camp eventually ends up getting stuck. The problem, though, for the Radiant is that the enemy offlaner is keeping up in terms of levels, in terms of levels with the Radiant safe laner, and this is not how Nirvana would like to run this lane. And part of that is because VP had to make a base trip. The Lich has been babysitting mid as well as stacking these ancients for the TA early on. So Zeus is going unchecked.
So I just want to point out in the mid lane, Shondi, he's actually doing decently well against the TA, so not as one-sided as we thought it would be. He's doing just fine against the TA, and I think he's quite comfortable alone, even though he doesn't have the Clockwork helping him out. The Clockwork can focus on the top lane, make sure Gondi has a good time, and the Faceless Void does not.
So the Lich is just pretty much hold on top lane.
hold on,
They're
top
moving on to
lane.
Kalnak. They've got the battery assault. The cogs were there as well, but Kalnak has the time walk. Open moons upon the Faceless Void. Acme holding on to that Fisher. The Fisher will connect. It's blocked off Kalnak, who is trying to run back to his own tower. A couple of body and blocks. One more attack. Acme taking too much damage. He gets first blood, and he's going to barely survive because he popped the smoke at the very end.
And he's gonna TP back to base, but he cancel that. He's gonna be even more greedy, and he's gonna go bounty room. He's very close to his arcane boots now, and an amazing start for this Earthshaker. I think Kalaik messed up a little bit over there. He time walked onto the low ground when he should have gone in this direction, and he would be under the safety of his tier 1 tower. But I guess he wasn't really able to think of it in the heat of the moment and didn't get the right time walk off.
I mean, he thought the low ground would have been safe. I mean, either way, it both were equally risky, right? Because the Lightstealer still had range for the open wounds. I'm not sure there was much he could do. I really don't know. Maybe Condi would have still got the open wounds off. But yeah, you were right. Kalnak would have been closer to his tower, and then XRG might have thought twice about diving him.
Yeah, I mean, like, even then, like, yeah, of course, the Fissure was still off cooldown, so you can still completely block off the Faceless Void.
Yeah.
But maybe, just maybe, he would have been able to travel far enough, so he's under the tier 1 tower. And since all these healers are melee, they would have take a lot of tower hits if they want to get the kill on Khalnayak. Never mind though, that's a very minuscule detail which doesn't account for much in the current league that we're casting. And another pause is going to come out from Khalnayak. Lag is the issue at hand. So looks like we talked about this earlier as well. This Necrophos has decided to go for a hood first. A very wise choice against the Zeus and against the Puck. It's mostly the magic damage early on that's going to be killing him, and if he gets the hood, he eliminates that chances. And look at this, he hasn't even opted for a single point in Ghost Shroud, because he knows that if he pops it, it's just going to spell doom for him in the early game. But the amplified heal is still quite good, so I would assume he's going to take at least one level in it at around level 8 or level 9.
He's definitely going to take it. I mean, he doesn't need it right now in lane. He'd much rather put points into Heartstoppers and Death Pulse just to bully the Zeus as much as possible.
Yeah, and an interesting build coming out from Dream as well. So he decided to go for the Soul Ring over the traditional Arcane Boots. I mean, so it's not very uncommon, something like you don't see on Zeus. But against the Necrophos, I would rather go Arcane Boots first and then maybe diverge into a Soul Ring. And Unpause comes out, game is on.
both offlaners. Clearly, it seems to be that the Zeus is the one coming out on top.
Yeah, definitely.
Partly because the Slada has spent most of his time, trying to single pull. Not sure what this is accomplishing. But now's the chance for them to strike. The ward is timed out. We're reaching the 6-minute mark. This is when I'll be hoping that some of the supports try and make a couple of aggressive maneuvers into the enemy jungle, if not even the mid lane.
Another pause is going to come out from the side of Nirvana. Looks like they have some severe lag issues at hand. Okay, so let's do a quick check on the supports. Sladar is at level 3. The Clockwork is at level 3. The Earthshaker, he is level 2. And the Lich, he's at level 2 as well. So in terms of levels, the supports are doing equal. The side of Nirvana is slightly doing better. Not that it doesn't mean it accounts for a lot, but that extra stun duration and damage on Sladar could be the difference between a kill and not getting one. So we've got that going on right now. And looks like Dream is going to be attempting to do a single pull here, trying to clear some of these creeps, make sure that Rival is not going to be able to take a lot of the farm from that stack. Looks like he's going to be pulling and maybe trying to take the stack for himself and making sure that Rival doesn't get any of that.
Yeah. Where's Rival's creep wave?
Rival's creep wave is right under his tower, so I don't think he's going to be able to get the pull off. It's going to be very close. Are the creeps going to spot him out? Nope, he gets the pull off. The range creep though may not. Yeah. And oh, never mind. The creeps decided to come back. The pull was unsuccessful. But he did manage to deny one last hit from Rivals, so yay, that's a small victory. So
Yeah,
the
but-
buck.
Look at this. Acme is just roaming around the Radiant jungle. Has Necrophos got level 6?
Uh-oh.
He does. They're
VP is
running
going to
in.
spot him out.
VP does have the crush. He doesn't have the range though. The Ice Armor dropped on top of the Slada. Running into the trees. He's got the Enchant Totem and the Fisher. Gets the Fisher off, but he's only blocked himself. Trees on one side, trees on the other. Chews through one of them. Moves towards the enemy tier 2 tower. He's buying a lot of time for the Zeus, but is this really worth it? He's eating a Clarity. Opa spotted him out. He's not got any points in the Frost Blast. He's only got Ice Armor and Sacrifice. Acme is finally going to go down to the Reaper's side. Well, not to the Reaper's side, but Rival still ends up picking that kill.
Rival does not seem too happy about that. He expected the Reaper side to get the kill, but it's not gonna happen unfortunately. Still a kill nonetheless, and a lot of space created for XRG. And the more space created for XRG, the worse this Faceless Void does in his lane, right? Because you're focusing all these years. Look at this Faceless Void, he is so poor right now. This is not what you want your Faceless Void to look like. You want him to at least have dreads and maybe something like an Iron Talent, so if the lane gets hard when some of these heroes at level 6, he can just go back to the jungle, hit some creeps there, and just stay relevant in the game. But looks like he's going to be doing that now, and he does have the Shrine to heal back up as well. But I'm going to have to hold that thought as bottom lane. VP is going to get fissured up and eats a Thunderbolt to the face. Ulti, he is very close to getting it though, and he's just going to get it, but he's not going to be able to get the kill on VP anytime soon, as he does not have the mana for it.
Acme though goes in with the Enchant Totem. Fisher coming off cooldown. There's no way he's gonna get this.
Yeah, he doesn't get that kill. Very optimistic play by Acme.
Khalnayak getting closer and closer to a 6. I'm really curious as to see which lane he decides to expend the chrono on. Look at this. Saurabh is already leading the network charts on the TA. And now he's got a whole lot of stacks to take. Acme trying to contest, goes in with the Fisher, takes a crush from VP. Saurabh cleans up the stack. Shondi comes in. He's got the Arcane Rule as well as Coil, but doesn't feel that he has enough to bring down the TA. Oops, a Coil at the very last moment, cancelling his TP. Only being a nuisance at this point.
He is gonna accidentally break the coil as well. But yeah, not a long cooldown on the coil, and he had the Arcane Rune as well, so a Dream Coil well used for Shondi.
Acme knows about the stack.
Top lane?
Top lane, they're going in on the Void. Opa did manage to TP out. Khalnayak pushed back by the cogs. Nobody ends up going down.
Okay, so we were talking about where this Faceless Void goes when he hits a 6, and I really think it's the bottom lane. Like, the Zeus is the easiest kill to get, especially his VP is there to follow up, and that's what this Faceless Void needs to get back into the game.
It's been an easy kill for the past 8 minutes. I'm really not sure why Nirvana are giving the Zeus so much space at all. This shouldn't be happening. Zeus is Frost Blast, even just a crush to follow that up, and with the Reaper Sight, it's a kill that's very easy to execute.
You're right about that, but then if XRG recognize that, they immediately gonna rotate over the Clockwork and the Earthshaker in the middle.
Right.
That's not good news for Nara.
Yeah, they shouldn't have waited so long. They could have done this
definitely. They
a while
could have
ago.
definitely
Top lane, Gondi goes in, open wounds, he wants the Lich. Lich drops the Ice Armor upon himself. He's only level 3 at the 10-minute mark, so he's not got that Chain Frost. The Thunder God's Wrath comes flying through, a Rocket Flare as well, and the Pro Kid gets the kill with the Battery Assault. VP TP's in, he gets the crush on Acme. Acme dropping low. This time, no smoke to save him from the tower. The Chronosphere expended. They're going to get the kill on the Earthshaker. They're moving on to the Lifestealer, who just
Nice and
invested
fast.
into a Radiant Creep. Rival waiting though patiently. He's got the Reaper Sight as well. I don't think the Radiant Creep can survive. Gondi comes out, takes a Death Pulse. Rival has the Reaper Sight, commits it, should get the kill. Gondi's been eliminated and he's been punished for diving so deep just to kill off a Lich.
Yeah, and that's exactly what the Faceless Void needed. He's gonna swing that net worth right back into his favor, and let's see where he is in the net worth chart right now. So he is. So
I mean, he's still above the Zeus.
Yeah, he's still above the Zeus, so he's doing better, slightly better than the Zeus, not by a lot though, by 200 gold only. And he's right below the puck in terms of net worth. So a position you want to be in as a Faceless Void. This is something that it's still manageable.
Yeah, but this isn't a position you want to be in as a puck. I mean, you're barely ahead of the enemy offlaner. Shandi's not had too much of a fun time in the mid lane. It's clear that TA is the big winner here. Top lane though, Nirvana might be in a little bit of trouble. Rival caught in the cogs, the coil committed as well. There's the Waning Rift. He does have the Ghost Shroud, but he's been silenced. Rival stick charges. Did he use the stick charges before using the Ghost Shroud? I'm not too sure. And there's a Fisher. Easy kill for XRG. They also managed to pick up the Slada. If I'm not mistaken, that was the Zeus getting a kill all by himself.
Okay, but VP, he's getting closer and closer to this level 6, and as soon as he gets that level 6, the Templar Assassin, she's about to finish a Desolator as well, and as soon as that Desolator starts coming online, Rosh is a very easy option for Nirvana to take, and as soon as they have that Rosh, they can start knocking on these tier 1 towers, take them down, and maybe deal some damage on the tier 2 towers as well.
Speaking of Rosh, XRG have a lineup that's really not good at taking Roshan.
Oh, definitely.
They excel at not taking Roshan.
they definitely don't excel at taking Roshan. But with that said, they have like the best lineup to contest Roshan. Like you have the Earthshaker. Like theoretically, this is the best lineup to contest Roshan. You have Clockwork, you have Earthshaker, you have Puck, you have Zeus. All these heroes that can really just go into the Roshan pit and punish you for sticking in way too many heroes there. So
I agree. Which is going to be crucial for XRG to just keep the vision going around the Rosh pit. If like you mentioned, and I do actually agree with you, if XRG's strength is contesting Roshan, you want to have a little bit of vision going so that you can be there in time to contest Roshan.
Yeah, and ideally you also want a team fight to go in your favor before you do the Roshan. So I think I'm not quite sure if XRG have
Top lane, Khalnayak, hook shot coming out from the Pro Kid. He did manage to cancel the TP, the timer coming off cooldown. A little bit of damage struck out. Gondi, the infest in and out, not on time.
They're gonna need the Earthshaker if they want to kill off this Void. They don't kill him with just the Clockwork and the Lifestealer. Like that's never gonna happen.
Yeah,
unless like the Void is horribly low.
Khalnayak is doing pretty decently. He's got a shrine up in 20 seconds. He's going to heal up as well. Just go back to the lane.
And he is picking up Vladimir's offering next, so that's actually a pretty good item to get early, especially when you get the Rosh. And speaking of Rosh, look what Nirvana are doing. They're taking Roshan.
Yep, with that Desolator, Corrosive Haze, and even the Crush coming out from VP. It's going to be rather easy for Nirvana.
Yeah, and some very good wards as well, protecting the Roshan area. Yeah, for Team Nirvana.
It's actually a lack of foresight that
the Zeus ulti.
Yeah, I got that. It's just that XRG should have thought that Nirvana might consider Roshan. And XRG, I mean, they've been blindsided here. The orb comes in from Shandi a bit too late. VP going up the high ground. Needs to be careful. Your Clockwork has a shot coming off cooldown. Arcane Rune as well. Could start out with the rocket to get a little bit of vision. But XRG don't want to take the fight. They are fighting into
this
it.
is a
He just
dead life
top lane. Now
stealer.
Kalnayak goes in. He's got the chrono. He's kept sort of away from that kill, and Kalnayak secures another kill for himself. He's getting closer and closer to that Vladimir's offering.
Kill secured, and so is the tier 1 tower. This is a push, but look what XRG are doing. They realize that the life stealer is dead and they don't have a lot of options on plate, so they're just gonna push out the mid lane. But Nirvana is slightly ahead on that one. The Lich is already frost armored this tier 1 tower up, so it's gonna be slightly harder to take it down.
They're going to get the Lich though as a freebie. The hook shot, the battery assault is there. Yeah, I mean, he poked the Zeus in his bum, but the battery assault did get the kill. Saurabh TP's in. Slaughter sleeping in as well. This is a Radiant Shrine. Acme needs to be a little careful. The side traps along with the sprint, they could finally maybe catch up with the Earthshaker. They're not going to bother giving chase.
No, the Earthshaker doesn't have a DP though. He's gonna get spotted out by the creep wave.
And he pops
He's gonna
smoke.
smoke up. What? You don't use a smoke like that, my friend. Smokes are very precious.
Acme using these smokes, the range creep still waiting for him. They're going to get the kill. They're going to force out a smoke from the Earthshaker. And look at that melt damage. The problem though was that XRG didn't even get that tier 1 tower in the mid lane. That space literally amounted to nothing.
Some vulgar comments coming out here by the
yeah.
Templar Assassin. So, PG alert, boys. If you're under 13, please turn off your stream. And looks like they're eyeing the tier 1 tower bottom next.
Top lane, Kalnayak. I mean, he's trading hits with the clockwork. It's only a tranquil boost and an earn on the clockwork. Kalnayak, he can flirt with them all day long as long as he has the time. As long as he has the time walk available.
Yeah, I'm very concerned about the side of XRG. Like, they really, I mean, yeah, their draft is very strong, but it peaks off in the mid game and it starts falling off towards the late game because the late game, this void is gonna like just destroy the lifesteal and the TA as well. And you have the
a little passive in my opinion. And finally the clockwork and the lifesteal have woken up to this. An infest bomb in the works in the top lane. There's the hook shot. Is the silence gonna be there? Yes it is. The whale not committed from the puck, but Gondi nonetheless will get the kill. The double damage rune from Shondi is certainly helping.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy pick off there for the side of XRG.
It's not enough.
Yeah, it's definitely not enough. It's not gonna stop the push that's happening in your bottom lane. It's not gonna stop the structural damage.
Yeah, they're just gonna get tier 1 towers. However, XRG are trying to make a trade happen. Now, mentioned this during the draft, that they sort of suck at taking down buildings. The lifestealer still only working with an armlet. He's not going for the diffusal second, he's going for the desolator. So that's gonna help when it comes to taking down towers and maybe dealing physical damage to the squishy supports on the side of Nirvana.
So looks like what
Saurabh jumps in bottom lane, he's gone in for Dream! Blink along with the desolator. You know what? That was pure luck on my part. I didn't expect the Zeus to be going down, but I just wanted to see if the tower would end up going down. And I just saw Dream die in a matter of seconds in the bottom lane.
Yeah, man.
This TA, 17 minutes in, Desolator blink.
Oh god, like this TA is absolutely disgusting. Like you don't want to be facing this TA if you're in the side of XRG.
But XRG, they're going to rinse and repeat. Top lane, once again in Flash Bomb in the works. Shondi goes in, he's got the Waning Rift, the Orb comes through, the Waning Rift is silence going to be enough. The Lion just shrugs off that damage and the Chain Frost. Well, it's going to hold back XRG. Kalnak's got the Chronosphere, he could actually turn around. Rivals coming in with the Reaper side, he jumps in with the time walk. Chronosphere onto 2. Both the Lifesteal as well as the Clockwork got in it. Reaper side committed, Death Pulse as well. Gondi is gone, they lost the core on the side of XRG while Nirvana, they also score another kill on the Earthshaker. This time, Acme, you're not creating space. It's called feeding, actually.
And Shondi, he's gonna mourn the loss of his brother, but I'm gonna have to hold that thought as VP. He's gonna spot out the Zeus, but he doesn't quite have the blink yet, so no follow-up there.
VP needs to be careful. He doesn't realize how much extra damage he's taking during the sprint, but sort of he doesn't need to be careful. He goes in, he gets the kill. VP, once again, I'm really not sure what the plan was there. Didn't really have to end up going down. Instead, VP could just actually, his cores are creating space for him. He could focus on getting that blink. It's really only going to help Nirvana further. Saurabh goes in. Clockwork, does he have the cons? He doesn't feel he has the angle. Finally does. It's a little too late. And Saurabh on a mega kill streak.
And yeah, I mean, when you have a guy named VP, do you really expect him to be farming for his blink? No, man. He's named after his favorite team, Virtus Pro. He's just gonna dive tier 2. He doesn't care if he dies as long as his TA is fine.
I mean, yeah.
It was a silly joke. I'm sorry, Vivek. I'll try and do better next time.
It's okay. I don't do much better either.
Yeah, and the Earthshaker, he is also quite close to his blink. In fact, closer than the Sladar is right now. So I think that's what XRG are really hoping to bank on. They're banking on this Earthshaker to get his blink, and maybe from there turn around all these fights. And we have some good all chat going on here.
Yeah, I'm actually reading all chat. So VP's explanation was, I came to take assist goal. I think you still get assist goal if you just drop corrosive haze on someone. You don't have to walk in and die. Anyway.
Yeah.
You do, right? If you drop corrosive haze, you do get.
Yeah, definitely. You just need to be in the AoE to get gold. And maybe if you deal a lot of damage, you get more gold than like you would by just staying in the area. But yes, the gold is equally divided. The assist gold is equally divided among all the heroes that are present in the area.
Okay. You're a true Gujarati.
I'm not a true
Rajasthani.
Gujarati. Yeah, I'm a true whoever I am. Not gonna reveal who I am because it's racist.
Okay.
And Sladar is
Maybe-
invisible. He's gonna
Yeah,
spot
he
out
was
Acme.
invisible. Acme. Once again, the euphemism he has for this is making space, but
It's not
Yeah.
making space.
yeah.
And look at Rival. He's just chasing. They're not really killing him off, but he is gonna drop the Reaper's Titan.
Yeah, and like
Oh,
even
top shot.
top side of the river though, sort of caught in the cogs. Says thank you very much. I'm locked in a duel with you. I'm going to bring you down. Gondi pops the rage, wants to TP. Is there a bash when you need it? No, there isn't. But Nirvana still working with a huge net worth advantage. I am disappointed. XRG drafted a very specific type of lineup that was intended to fight early on and fight smartly. They haven't done enough of that. I'd like to see Dream participate in these fights a little bit more. I mean, come on,
you're
you're
just
not
gonna
saving
die.
you're not saving Zeus for the late game, are you? There is no late game, and Saurabh is diving between your tier 2 and the tier 3 with a haste rune and brings you down.
Yeah, offlane Zeus really does not scale well into the late game. Like unless you go for something crazy like a Bloodstone as a second or third item, you don't
Look,
really scale.
You can get items which are handy, like the Nimbus is quite
Yeah.
a pain in the ass to play against. But you're only going to get those items if you come and participate in team fights and get kills. If you're Zeus
Yeah.
is not going to farm those items.
He's definitely not gonna farm those items, but like, what do you even do when you Dream, man? Like, because you're just gonna die if you decide to participate in these fights. The TA is just gonna jump in onto you and just take you down. The Sladar is gonna follow up, and
Broke it. I mean, he's hoping a hook shot out of there, but they're not even giving him the chance. VP this time scores the kill. XRG on the back foot. How do they recover? It's going to take a huge echo slam, and Acme is getting closer towards his Blink Dagger. I'm not sure if it's going to be enough, because the Necroforce, as he keeps pinging out in all chat, is that he's building a pipe of insight.
which he's not really doing. He's queued up the. Oh, never mind. The Pipe of Insight is in the core here, and he's ferrying that out to himself right
Shot
now.
up, dives. Look, XRG, I think we reached this point where they need to 5-man pop a smoke. Because if any of them are even hiding at the tier 3s, Saurabh is just going to jump you.
Exactly, and they have the ward over there as well, right? So I mean,
Why
doubt
does
obviously.
the Blink Dagger? Did you catch that?
Oh, I'm not quite sure. Oh yeah, Void has a Blink Dagger. So he's doing more of the classic old school build. He's so a very popular high MMR player that plays the Faceless Void is Crystallize, and I've seen him like even when he goes in offlane with the Faceless Void, he still prefers to go for the Mask of Madness over the Vladimir's offlane.
Isn't Crystallize a safe laner? Isn't he a one
Yeah,
position
he-
for
he-
Navi?
Yeah, but
Oh,
he,
yeah,
he
saying in
plays-
pubs.
Yeah, in pubs he plays a lot of Faceless Void basically, and when he goes offlane, I've seen him still go for the Mask of Madness over the classic
Yeah.
Vlad's Blink build.
I mean, the Vlad's Blink was very... I'm going to say universe, but I'm sure it's
Yeah.
not just universe. But yeah, it was Vlad's Blink into Ags, and then you just hit
Yeah.
high impact chronos rather than being a source of physical damage. Speaking of physical
Yeah.
damage, Saurabh has caught it in the plenty. He's just going to bring down Gondi there. And he's got like
And-
now.
Rival
Yeah.
seems to be very enthusiastic about his Pipe of Insight.
Oh, look at this. Opa, he's walked in the fish on to do the magic damage from Shondi is huge with the Veil of this. Zeus to back him up. Nirvana fighting with a man disadvantage, but Saurabh doesn't care. He's trying his best. He's manning up versus the rest of them. Kalang comes in. It's a chrono.
but a beautiful
Saurabh outside the chrono with the reflection charges, with the arcane root. He's going to rip them a new one. VP disconnects. But Nirvana, I think it's safe to say who's won this fight.
Yeah, who's won this fight and won the game as well. I don't see. Yeah, that's the best chance XRG ever had of coming back from the losses they were suffering. But yeah, that chance is now blown out of the water. You don't have Echo Slam, you don't have Zeus Ult. Your tier 3 towers are gonna melt to this TA, and yeah, I think this is pretty much at least a set of racks, if not more, for the side of Nirvana. Possibly the game. Actually, much likely the game. Okay, so Shondi, let's look at Shondi right now.
They're gonna respawn soon, though. I mean, did the Earthshaker commit the Echo Slam? Yes.
Yeah, he did.
Okay. So VP's reconnecting. Shondi got.
Quick question. Shondi survives or not?
Give me 5 minutes.
Okay, I mean that's cheating, but never mind. I think Shondi dies.
How did you guess?
Oh, I wonder. I mean, I just took my own sweet time.
Okay, quick question. Nirvana goes high ground and successfully gets a tier 3 tower or not?
Yeah, very easily. They get racks. They even get more if they know what they're doing and if they don't overextend. Which
Okay.
So this I think.
I like how your guess has terms and conditions to it.
Yeah, terms and conditions. I mean, it is Indian Dota after all. So there are going to be terms and conditions.
What does that imply?
I wonder what it implies. You can put 2 and 2 together, Vivek. You're a smart man.
Anyway, Saurabh's TP back. He's got the Hurricane Pike. He's got the Hurricane Pike. There is a double damage rune in the river indeed. Are Nirvana waiting for any key items? Is anything key coming through? Kalank is getting closer and closer to his axe.
I guess no. The axe is a long way. They should just take this double damage. Why is Saurabh ignoring that double damage? What
is Saurabh waiting for? I'm not too sure. He's hoping that XRG shows somewhere on the map, and then maybe he goes. He can bottle it for sure. Okay, Saurabh.
He doesn't want to. He doesn't want to. He's confident that just his right clicks are enough. And VP, is he gonna take this double damage rune?
Oh, they're using it for a shot.
They're using it for. I mean, you can still bottle it up though. Never mind, it's alright. Yeah, so I guess this is what they were waiting for. They were waiting for the Roshan to go high ground. It's like 10 times safer with Roshan than without. And not saying that it wasn't safe in the first place, it really was. Like, they had no Echo Slam, they had no Zeus Ult, but even then.
Aegis and Saurabh, she's on the Slada for the time being. Nirvana, this should possibly be them closing the game, provided the execution is on point. The smoke coming out from Saurabh and VP. Kalnayak a little far away. He's got the Chronosphere available. They've gone for Gondi, excuse me. Yeah, they've gone for Gondi. Damn those two. Karan Arjun of Indian Dota.
Yeah.
Mid lane, there's Mr. Arjun with the orb. He's going to jaunt back. Zeus on the high ground with the 4-staff and the Aether Lens. So right now with the Hurricane Pike on the TA, the 4-staff on the Necroforce, the Clockwork and his lockdown doesn't amount to much in the form of the cogs. The ideal target for him would be the Slada or maybe even the Void, but the Void can just time walk out of the cogs.
Yeah, I think, but if you're good enough, you can disable the Void for long enough and then have the path follow up.
He's gone straight onto Dream. Dream has moved further east. He has no shrine, so that's a fountain trip for the Zeus. That's a huge source of magical damage for XRG missing from the fight, but the Earthshaker, he's got his Blink and his Echo Slam.
Okay, so newsflash, Nirvana playing from a cyber cafe. And Rival, he's questioning what he should buy next. Looks like he's slightly confused. His love for a pipe of insight, I think he put some marijuana in it before using it, so he's confused as to what he should get next. That was terrible, I am sorry. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say that on stream, but I did. And Saurabh, he's taunting the Necro, this Necro. Looks like he is aware of the fact that I am aware of and pointing out.
Necroforce has reconnected. But the Pipe of Insight completes. Saurabh has the Aegis. They've taken down the melee barracks. The range barracks stand in the mid lane. Can XRG defend? They've got the Echo Slam, but when all you see is the Temple Assassin, it's not easy to go in. Possibly the Clockwork needs to get the fight started for XRG. The
They're waiting
Pro
for
goes
Karan
in
to
with
come
the
in.
urn. He's just walking in. The smoke being popped here from XRG. Not really sure what that's meant to accomplish. Are they looking to catch someone on the retreat? Acme just running in forward and infest into the puck. Shondi, he's carrying his brother inside of him.
And a lot of angry pings coming out from Saurabh and VP and the Necroforce.
Okay. I like what XRG are trying. Let's kill the Void, and that's going to buy some time and maybe help us fight with the man advantage. But Void's backed off. Acme, his smoke wearing off. He goes in with the Echo Slam on the rival. It just tickles with that fight. A Glimmer Cape popped as well. The Chain Frost thrown out onto the Earthshaker. Rival standing in between a bunch of heroes. Two-man crush. Clockwork dead before he could even get the hook shot off. Gondi trying to chase down the Lich. The Lich, well, he's not even going to get that kill, and he's going to be crushed and controlled. Elsewhere, Saurabh and company, what are they up to? Saurabh's been farming creeps. Gondi's all by himself. His brother Shondi has left him, and he's going to fall as well. Nirvana get 2 kills, and once again they could push for a couple of objectives.
And Nirvana calling GG in his team chat.
Yeah.
And that's a...
Look at rival.
He's taunting them basically, like there's nothing they can do.
The disrespect coming out from this Necroforce. I mean, look at that.
Yeah.
Nirvana are having fun. They're playing with their food. They've gone on to Dream, who, after having a decent start in the lane, hasn't had too much impact in the game.
Oh,
the line goes
nice
in.
chrono by
It's a
Kalai.
chrono onto 2. Saurabh outside of it. Burst down Shondi, the pro kid, caught in the cogs. Kalai says thank you very much. The Reaper side coming in from rival will seal the deal, and Acme taps out with the double Gs. Nirvana, they have stomped over XRG. And I
Yeah.
think a lot of it has to do with the draft.
Yeah, like we spoke about, like XRG just had a lot of melee supports on their side, and the game plan was solid. Like I can respect the way they were drafting, but the way they were playing, I really can't respect that. Like when you draft with certain confidence, you need to have the confidence to pull it off as well. If you're drafting certain heroes, you're supposed to be knowing what you're supposed to like. You're supposed to know what you're accomplishing with those heroes. But looks like XRG they kind of failed to do that, and it costed them this game.
Yeah, good stuff coming up from Nirvana. They might have lost to Akatsuki yesterday, but they're one of the better teams to watch out for in the winter phase in the Masters League in this winter phase. My name is Vivek. With me was Floki. I am at facebook.com/VWakeCasting. That's VWWAKE casting. Hidaka doesn't have a Facebook page just yet, if
Sorry,
I'm not
guys.
mistaken.
Yep, I don't. So see you guys tomorrow, and hope you have a nice night.
I'm mad, don't you?